Welcome to episode 6 of Model with Mel. Today we're going to be getting into finishing the interior. We have a ceiling that we're going to model within the living room area. We kind of have to figure out how to make it work because we're also going to add in some stairs. I'm also going to try and do some wall trim interior. So baseboard sweeping and maybe some built-in pieces like we did the batten board on the exterior, but we are going to be working on the interior today. Again, I'm always streaming to YouTube. Hi Shamira, how are you? I hope you're doing good. Glad to see that you're here live. I am going to be popping up Instagram onto my tripod and again streaming live to YouTube. So let me flip this around and we're going to get right into it. I was so sad that I couldn't do my model with Mel last week. Oh, I don't know what I just did, but it zoomed out so far. Okay. Perfect. So yeah, I couldn't do model with Mel last week because I had to go to dinner with my in-laws, which is important. And tonight I got invited out to dinner again. And I was like, why do I get invited out to dinner on Wednesdays? I was like, I'm not going to go because I couldn't do my weekly live last week because I went out to dinner. I'm not going to go out to dinner this week. So Billy went out to dinner with his friends. They're my friends too, I suppose. So I could have gone, but I told him to just bring me something back. So I'm just doing a little section box to show you guys what we've been working on. So I'm going to cut in here and you can see right away that in the kitchen we've built this faux cathedral ceiling. So if we go to a section, we're going to see that we built a rafter here and now we have a cathedral ceiling shape in this kitchen area. And it ends right where the island ends so that it's really defining this space. And then the dining space, I want it to just be flat. So I'm actually going to draw a dashed line, which is a detail line. I just did DL for that command. And I am going to put that here because this is a different ceiling than this is. And there's like showing a dashed line shows that there's a transition that is happening. Yes. Alrighty. So I'm going to go back to the section box and I'm going to create another faux cathedral, but within this front space in the living room. So one of the issues that we're going to run into with this space is I'm trying to get a floor stairs to go up to the floor. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to first do some stairs here just so that I can see in 3D how that's going to impact this roof here. So right now I just have a floor slab that's flat, but what I really want to do is I want to remove the floor slab here and I want a cathedral ceiling much like we did on the inside of the kitchen area. But for this, it could just be a true cathedral. And what that means is it's going to just be the true roof rafters that we're taking the shape of. The faux cathedral, again, is we're building out an interior rafter here to make sure that we can achieve that cathedral look. This is a true cathedral because on the outside of the house, we're just following the shape and we would have the ceiling follow that as well. So I'm going to go to the first floor plan. I'm going to insert, let's do stairs. So what I'm going to do is I have my riser heights and my depth set to what the standard code is, residential code in my area. So what that means is the max riser height is going to be 7.75 inches or 7 3/4. And the max tread depth, which is the flat surface that you step on, that's going to be 10 inches. So I have that all set up and I'm going to do base level first floor, top level, top of second floor. So it tells me I need 15 stairs. So I'm just going to draw a straight run the whole way. And we can see that I can probably actually bring this over because these stairs are going to be up higher than the wall is. So it can go above here. We can look at it in 3D just to be sure, and in section as well. I'm just adjusting. I have a heated blanket on me because I'm cold right now. My legs are cold. All right, so I guess I'm going to move it back a little bit. Let's see what this dimension is. 4, 8. Maybe I can just have it align with the wall. Let's see. That's still actually a big distance. I wouldn't want to go smaller than 3 feet here. So I'm going to do that. And then I want to look at it in 3D. So we wouldn't need one on the wall. I'm going to delete the railing there. I'm going to go to the second floor plan, and I'm going to start looking at what's happening. So I'm going to tab until I can select on the floor, or how else can I select the floor? Because the tab button doesn't seem to be selecting the floor. I'm just going to highlight. I wonder if it's hidden. Where's the floor, and why can't I see it? So I'm going to filter floor, and now I have the floor selected. I'm going to edit the boundary of this. I'm going to pull this in, and I'm going to reshape the boundary of it now. So I want the floor to come around my stair, and I want to remove it from this separate area of the house that's bumping out that the living room is in, because I really want that to be, again, the true cathedral. So we're going to see if we can make this work with the stairs, and hopefully, because I really wanted to do tall windows on that side, and I need to have a cathedral in order to do that. So there's my floor slab updated. All right. See, so now what's happening in here is, okay, let me take a section over here because there's a lot of things happening. There's this floor that comes out, so this whole area here is a cathedral, so it sort of like comes halfway. I want to take a section through here and see what's going on. So there's definitely going to be some head height issues. Yeah, see what we're working with here. I need to see if I can manipulate this wall. Because when you're going up the stairs, you could see that you would hit your head there. And as you're going up, this slope is also happening. So putting stairs here might actually truly not be viable because of this slope. So if I were to hide this, you can see that we're walking up the stairs and it's getting pretty tight. So let's go back to this section and let's just hide this wall and see what some of these benchmarks are. So this is 5'10" to the roof slope. A minimum head clearance that you need is going to be 6'8". So right now, that's not working in the current position that it's in. So what that means is when you're standing on one of these steps, your head's gonna hit right here in this section. So it might make more sense if I flip this. It might be easier to understand the visual here. So again, we're on this step and we're at 6'5". So we are not clearing the head height. We definitely need to figure out where the stairs are gonna go. I might be able to put them on the other side because the roof slope isn't as drastic. I'm definitely disappointed that this didn't work, but it's okay. I had a feeling that we were gonna have some head height issues when we got up there, just because this area is a little bit tight. So I actually think maybe instead of doing a straight run, I could do like an L shape and bring us around. So that way we're lower when we're at this point. So that's kind of hard to understand. So let me redraw this stair and hopefully you'll understand what I'm talking about. This is a really good exercise in working through a stair design in 3D with roof heights and making sure that what you're designing is actually possible, because I've seen a lot of designers just draw something in floor plan and they never look at it in section, and then they go and they're like, oops, actually my bad, I know you loved the design, but it doesn't actually work. You don't have enough head height in this one area. And that's unfortunate because I would never want somebody to show me a design that I fell in love with and then it's like, oops, actually I actually didn't think about it that much before I showed it to you. I think it's just, that's bad practice in my opinion. So I'm just gonna bring that over. I'm going to set this up in the corner and then we're going to look at it again in 3D and see if this helps solve some of that head height issue that we were having. So let's look at it now. So then we're probably going to have head height issues over here. So let me go back and see what this is. So this is 8.4. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back here and I'm going to pull the stair down. And what that's going to do is it's going to remove risers from the top and as I increase from the bottom. So I'm going to see if I can get this to pretty much almost align with this wall. And then I'm going to go to the section and I'm going to see if that allowed us to clear the rafter head height. And it does not. If anything, I kind of think it made it a little bit worse just because I had to create this landing. So it didn't actually help us. I mean, maybe I can bring this in to here and bring this in. And see what that does. But we're still not in business with this stair here. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to delete the stair and I'm going to put it, I don't know how we're going to get people up there. But I know I want to do the cathedral, so I think I'm just going to move forward with that style here, and I'm going to see where in first floor that wall is actually happening. So, because it's not actually happening here, it's extended out, and then it's happening basically wherever this exterior wall is happening. So really this is the cathedral area, which kind of makes it awkward and undesirable. And now I'm seeing if I can create a roof that actually continues, like a faux cathedral going back into the building, so that it can be this entire space. So what I'm going to actually do is I want it to be there. I think it looks silly if it's only half the room. It really needs to be the full volume of the room. And I'm going to leave this roof as one piece. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to build a smaller roof on the inside. So let me just hide this for a second. I'm going to continue the rafter, the faux rafter like I did in the kitchen over here. So I'm gonna just copy this actually. Let's see if I can do this in floor plan. Copy. I'm just gonna bring it over here for a second so I can see what I'm doing with it, and then I'm gonna put it over here in this corner. And then I'm gonna go to, I'm gonna delete that section. Don't need to look at that one right now. I'm going to look at this 3D. So I'm going to then place this in 3D in the right location. And I'm also going to move this up because it doesn't need to extend. Can just sit on this wall right here. All right, so this width is definitely a little bit bigger and wider than the kitchen, so that's why this roof isn't completely filling that up. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna edit the footprint, and I'm gonna go to the second floor plan, and I'm gonna align that with the center of this wall. So what I'm going to need to do actually is I'm going to need to draw a design line to the center of this wall, and that's where I'm going to want this boundary to end up at, because that's where the peak is going to be, and that's where that's going to meet. So we can see that that now is a continuation of this. And basically this is a little bit thicker because there's a ceiling built out here. So if I also go to this section, you can see that I put in a ceiling on that area. So I'm going to do the same thing for this. I'm going to put a ceiling here. I'm gonna do architecture, ceiling, gypsum. I'm gonna sketch the ceiling because I want it to be specifically sloped. So I actually might be able to just do this as a rectangle and then slope these to more than one slope defined. Well, yeah. Okay, so it won't create a peak for me because it doesn't want you to have more than one slope defined. So I'm just going to make sure this is in the center. And then we should just be able to mirror that. And we're going to want to change this to match the roof pitch, which is a 9. And then I'm just going to, again, adjust this in 3D. Sometimes I like to just work in 3D. And I'm going to put this at the edge. Alright, I just changed it from thin lines really quick just so I can make sure this is accurately sitting in the right spot. Alright. This is the edge of the fascia, so I'm just going to miter this so it's not sticking through. That didn't work. Made it look funky. Perpendicular actually works so that it doesn't go through the roof all the way. Alright. So you can see what we're doing. We're building out this entire cathedral. So I'm going to move this floor slab back to be on the first floor where this line is. Delete element, the line's too short, that's fine. go to the second floor. Okay, that's fine. I don't know how we're getting people upstairs yet to this space. I don't know how we're going to make it usable at the moment. Yeah, so this is kind of just like dead space. And I can pull this back here because we don't need it to be all the way over. Again, I'm just going to adjust this ceiling so why isn't this perfectly aligned? That's what I want to know. Okay, now it is. I'm a perfectionist, so I'm just making sure everything aligns. Like I said, I'm a perfectionist, so. So that's what it's looking like on the inside. Now I would want there to be a wall there, so I'm going to reset this, and what I'm going to do is unpin it and edit the profile because now I want to cut around this inside roof. So I'm going to delete that. Okay, and then I'm going to pin it so I don't accidentally move it. And now I'm going to go to the second floor again, and I can see the ceiling being cut through, the faux rafter there. This is 2x4 stud walls that are framing out this area. So I'm also going to do 2x4s that frame out this area. So we're just going to align that with the edge, and then I'm going to pull it here and here to close off this little area over here. Again, we wouldn't need to access that little area because it's just like the wall of the exterior and then that faux rafter on the inside, extruding this roof shape all the way in. Very similar to how we're boxing off this rafter as well to finish the space in a square way. I still want to be able to make the second floor a usable workspace. I really don't know yet where these stairs are gonna go. So this is like a pass through to here, and we need a lot of stairs. Like, it's not just a few stairs either. 16 stairs is kind of a lot of stairs. So not 100% sure what the plan is gonna be. Alright, so I can see, so I love working with the section box when I'm doing some of these harder 3D pieces because I can really focus on a spot and understand everything that's happening. So right here, the wall is not all the way over. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag that all the way over to the point where at least it meets the corner. And then pull it in a little bit, attach it. So sometimes the attaching doesn't work correctly, and I don't understand why, because I attached it to the roof, but it's like not attaching on this side, which I don't really know why it does that. Maybe because it's connected here. So I could do disallow join to that wall maybe and see if that helps it. Doesn't seem to be working though. So when in doubt, you're just gonna go to the edit profile tool and you're gonna shape it to edit the profile like we did on the exterior. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't work. I don't honestly know the reason. It's finicky sometimes, and that's just the reality of Revit at some points. So we go with the flow of what we can go with. So we have this whole area now all framed out. And another issue that we're gonna have with this floor if we do make it finished is here you can't have a head height less than 5 feet, so I will have to add more walls. And as you can see right now, if I were to drop in a room right now, our area is only here pretty much. So it's not a huge space, and I don't even have a stair. So at this point, I'm thinking that this is going to end up just being a traditional attic space, and you know, they can finish it with the walls or they can leave it with the rafters open there. Like, you wouldn't necessarily need to block that off, especially if it's going to be an unfinished space. You don't need to hide the faux rafters on the inside, so this wall wouldn't need to be here. You'd obviously want this wall to be here just because you're going to see that on the inside, but you wouldn't need to build it all the way up. You could just stop it where the rafter is. So there's definitely a few ways to consider working that out. But again, I just am not sure. Like, I feel like you'd have to like run this across and then this becomes the space, and then it's kind of like, what is the point? It's not that big. And I don't even know how it would work with the first floor, getting someone up there. Like, I'm looking at this floor plan and I'm not seeing a way, unless like the door to the bedroom comes over here and we do something different on this side, but then we'll lose a bunch of square footage up here to the stairs. So I'm just gonna leave it as unfinished attic space and let it be what it is. And we will just block off these areas and have it be a nice, clean, unfinished attic space. We'll hide those rafters, and that's just what it will be. We'll hide the rafters, we'll make it feel a little bit finished, but again, you'll need an attic access pole to get up here, and it will be used for predominantly storage space. But we now have our cathedral, and you can see that the floor is there, so I'm going to bring that wall down so that it's just the wall. I'm going to do that on the other side here as well, so that the wall hits that ceiling line. And then I'm going to go into the wall, I'm going to edit it in the second floor, and I'm just going to pull that behind the wall so that the wall is in front of the floor. Why is it saying it's open? Oh, because this is not a connected piece. So I'm just going to trim that up. All right. So now we have that wall that's seamlessly happening. I'm going to use the join tool to just clean up some of this geometry lines. So you can see that when I do use the join tool, it's just getting rid of those model lines on the inside. Looks like this wall moved over a little bit, so I'm just going to edit that profile. Oops, I don't know, what wall is this? Oh, okay. When I pulled it down, it pulled the whole thing down, so I gotta edit the profile of it to match this again. Then I'm just gonna pin it. That looks good. And then I want there to be like a clean line here. So I'm just gonna join this ceiling with this roof surface. And it should have cleaned up that line. Maybe I have to join the roof as well. The roof on the inside and the roof on the outside. So I'm going to temporarily hide that, HH. And then I'm just going to do the join tool. Join, join. And then I think these aren't exactly lined up, and that's why they're not joining. So let me see. Yep, so I'm just going to move this ceiling down. And now we should be able, yeah, see that line automatically went away. Looks so good. So I'm just going to take this in the second floor and I'm going to mirror it on the midpoint of this room. And voila. What I'm going to want to do though is I'm going to want to bring it out. Oh, it already is out. Okay. Beautiful. Beautiful. Yep. And then there would be a ceiling in here, and that looks good. So it's cathedral. It drops, and then it's cathedral again on this side. So exciting. I love making the interior look so cute. So I'm going to reset that. Everything is looking really great. We have our cathedral ceilings in. We have our walls in. We have our gypsum board in. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to look at this section really quick. And pull this back. So cathedral, drop, cathedral. This is where they'll eat. And I am just looking at let me go to this section. So I'm gonna take another section. I'm gonna go through here and I just want to see what the floor slab's doing. So you can see that because I don't want this to stick out through, I have pulled it in, but it does look like I can extend it out a little bit further without hitting that. So I'm gonna go to here and I'm gonna extend that out 3 inches. And it should not affect the 3D, it should not poke out. There we go. Let's go back to the section. So it is right there. And now we are getting as close as we can to this piece. What I would do if I was going to use this section I would use the cut profile tool again, which if you go back to last video, episode 5, I use the cut profile tool and we go through how to create a section and make it actually look correct within the Revit model as opposed to just this. So Obviously this is the cathedral area, so you can't really see, there's no floor here, but this is the cut for the floor beyond. And if I were to just, I actually don't know if I could just copy this, so let me copy, and then let me paste to current view, and yeah, it doesn't work, but that's fine. I don't think I even need this because there's no floor there, so I just deleted it. But in the last week's live, there's a whole bunch of me showing you how to use that cut tool. Again, I'm not gonna really use this section, so I'm just gonna bring it over as far as I can, and then I'm gonna put a ceiling here just so that when I take a section through the space, I have a clean connection and I don't have like a little gap here in 3D. So I'm just going to go again to that first floor. I'm going to do the gypsum wallboard ceiling. I'm going to sketch the ceiling. I'm going to do the square, and then I'm going to go like this. And then we got to offset the ceiling. So I'm going to go to a section, and I'm just going to move it up to the underside of the floor. And there you have it. There you have it. It's really fun to explore and look at things in section. So these walls are actually going to have to come down just a little bit further to cover that gypsum. I'm just going to unpin this. I'm going to edit the profile because, again, this is the wall that we've had to manipulate. And then I'm just gonna bring that back, bring that back. Do I want to bring it back? Is that what I want to do? Is that what's gonna look correct on the inside? I don't think I wanted to bring, yeah. I want it to be underneath the walls. I do. I think I might just be able to join them. Let's see. Yeah, that works. And then this one, I'll just drag over. Pull it down, join. I think I just moved the wrong thing down. I need to undo what I just did because I don't know where that wall went. Okay. Just gonna move this over, pull that over, and then pull this down, join them. So for some reason when I'm joining this gypsum wall with this, it's not cleaning up the same way that the other side did, but that's okay. Oh yeah, it's not cleaning up over here either. It's alright though. Join. Join. So because it's not getting rid of that line by joining them right now, my other trick that I'm going to show you is get rid of those lines is this line works tool, and it's automatically set to invisible lines, and you just go like that and boom boom, the lines are gone. So this is a view dependent tool, so it will only be in this view, but I'm going to use it when I do my 3D interior shots. I'm going to go back to the first floor plan, and I'm just going to add in some fixtures. So I'm going to do CM. I want to add in some drop lighting. I'm going to load in a family. I'm so cold. Okay. Load in a family. Hello. Lighting. I'm going to my lighting thing. Surface pendant. Okay, let's bring it over here so you guys can see. I don't know why it's not giving me a... Oh, there we go. Surface pendant glow stick. Surface pendant industrial sphere. Ring sleek industrial. Let's see, anything? Sconces, pendants. More pendant lights. A floor lamp. Pendant lights. Down lights. I think I liked these main ones better. So we have some track lighting, I can't really tell what that is, a ring light here, doesn't look like it's showing up. Again, that sphere, the discs, the cone, the dome, the dish, the cylinder, these are all pendants. I think I'm gonna go with the glow stick because that's like the most modern looking one. So we're gonna do place on face, so this should attach to the ceiling. I think I have to go to a 3D to attach it to the... Oh, did I not put the ceiling over the island? I didn't. So the pendants would be hanging from the sloped ceiling. Let me see what that looks like. I'm just temporarily hiding everything to get out of my way. I'm gonna bring my section box in a little bit more so I can get a sense of if I can actually attach this family to the slope. So place on face. So yeah, see, it's gonna put it at that angle, which is annoying. And there's no way to really get it to not do that. So silly. Okay. So the way I'm just gonna solve this is I'm gonna go to the first floor or the second floor and wherever this wall is, I'm gonna move it all, but I need like a point of reference. So I'm gonna copy this up to the second floor so I know exactly where it is, current view, and I'm gonna move all this in and we're gonna have a mini cathedral. But does that ruin the vibe of the kitchen? Like, it's not really that big anymore if we do it that way. Maybe I just move the island back. I think I'm gonna move the island back because I don't want to make this area smaller than it is. It won't feel right. There'll be no point to that. So I'm just gonna move this back. And I'm gonna make the kitchen bigger. So who doesn't love a big kitchen? Who doesn't love a big kitchen? We'll make the stove a little bit more central. Things are kind of farther apart, so we just have to kind of see, but ideally you want a triangle in your kitchen, and so that's what we are giving. Still, definitely want this to be more central. Again, just adjusting the kitchen, making it bigger. Okay, cutesy, 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 cutesy. So now in terms of this window, I'm going to center it on the new space I've just created. Equal, equal. Oh, it moves that. I hate when it does that. It moves the wrong thing. So I'm just going to nudge this over. I'm going to put 4 feet here. 4'6". 4'8", 4'9". Okay, so 10, perfect. And now we have this line as the cathedral, and this line as a cathedral, and this is our flat top ceiling. So now I'm going to put those pendants here. So I need to go to just a ceiling plan. Oops, these are just all old notes from a different project that I'm just going to filter. Lines, 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 text, dimensions, delete. And another filled region, so I can delete that as well. And now I can see my ceilings that I have here. This is, of course, like perfectly in the center, so it's covering that a little bit. But now we have all this variety in our interior ceiling space, and it's allowing us to have a separation of space without necessarily putting up walls, because this is all open concept. So now I'm just going to drop some pendant lights in here. And move that over. I'm going to see if I can look at the range, the base below. It's not showing me anything, so I'm just going to copy again the location of that and paste it here. I don't know why that didn't work. Oh, it's not showing up. I think it's set to not show up. Oh, that's weird. I think I maybe put it too high up. So another thing I could do is I'm just going to do a design line for the edge of this and the edge of this, so I can get a reference point of like where this is. Copy, current. Yeah, I knew I copied that sync by accident. All right, so now I can get a sense of like where the island is and where these lights are going to be centered on. So I'm just going to do this, and I'm going to do equal, equal. Again, it's adjusting that line. So let me see if I pin this line. I wonder if it'll, yeah, it won't adjust that, which is weird. So there we go. Sometimes it's easier to just shift it over. This is not in the center. So 2, 1. I'm going to do AL, I'm going to align all the center of these like linear pendants we have here. I'm going to space them out. I think I'm going to do 4 because it's a pretty wide space. I'm going to add a dimension string to it, and then I'm going to do equal, equal. No! I want this wall to stay where it is. Okay. Trick, I'm gonna draw a wall here. Why isn't it visible? Why isn't it visible in the view? Let's have it go to the first floor, to the dormer top plate. Doesn't really matter. We're going to delete the wall out after. But what I'm going to do right now with this wall is I'm just going to use it to dimension to, because apparently it's not letting us equal to the dimension line. I mean the detail line. It wants us to move the detail line. So to trick it, oh my goodness. 1 second. Let me associate this with the wall, not the detail line. Let me delete that. Add this back in, select that wall, and then we'll do equal, and perfect. It would have been perfect if I had selected this one. And we'll do equal again, remove constraints. That's centered, and then we know it's equal now. I don't need this wall, but I used the wall to my advantage. I'm gonna go and look now in section or in the 3D. Look at those pendants, so cute. You can also change them too. So right now they are 34 inches. You can make them longer. Crazy, but they're fine at 34 inches. I think you can adjust how far they hang too. Fixture height, pendant height, yeah. But if we look at a section, oh, well, I'm gonna delete this wall now that we don't need it. The light's about 2.6 off. So I think that's actually pretty good. I mean, I don't actually know, but the proportion looks okay. I'm not a light fixture specialist, but I think that looks good. So the last thing I'm gonna add is I'm gonna do a little chair, a little bar stool. I'm just gonna pop that in here to the scene that we're creating. Oh my gosh, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love a good, diverse section. It just feels thought out. And this is clearly not tall enough. The island needs to be... Maybe these are just too tall. Maybe I want to do that, yeah. Did I edit the depth to be 4 feet? Yes! Oh, it's so exciting. I'm so excited. And I don't need this anymore. So exciting. Let's go back to the floor plan and make sure that that's correct. We'll move it out. Perfect. Here we go. Again, just gonna move this so that it's at the corner point that we want it to be at. For the end of this video, I normally take a picture of the exterior, but I feel like I need to take a picture of like this interior that we've just created because I think it's really special. And I don't always showcase a lot of the interior work that I do. I don't actually normally design a lot of the interior work, but I thought it would be a really fun exercise for me to try. And I really like the way that this is working out. So now I just need to go to the reflected ceiling plan again and see, because do I want the pendants to be centered over just this surface area, or do I want them to be over this surface area? So right now, from here to here, here, equal, equal. Like I could center them there, or I could move it above. And I've seen it both ways. Or I could do neither of those options. Oops. And I could move it to be the whole thing. I think I'll do that. I feel like that just makes the most sense. The whole space, the whole cabinet or countertop area, because it just, I want the light to be distributed evenly, but you could definitely just do it over here, and you could definitely just do it over here. But I moved this. I moved it, but it's fine. So again, I'm just taking design lines and I'm going to copy them up to the ceiling plan, to the current view, and then I'm just going to use that to place these. It's going to yell at me because I had them all constrained to another thing, but that's fine. We're just going to align them all to the overall center of the bar. And again, we're going to do the fake wall because it doesn't let me do the equal with the design line. I'll just move the design line, and that's not going to work for me. So I'm just going to put this fake wall in for a second. It's going to be a huge wall. I'm just going to align it with the design line I used. I'm going to delete the design line. And this is just like a workaround to get that equal to work, because it takes too long to like figure out the distance. I'd rather just be able to click it and know that it's done. So again, I'm just going to check it now in plan. I know from elevation that it was going to be equal. I mean, that's pretty darn close. If I go back to the section. So again, we have a cathedral in this area, we have a drop ceiling in the dining room area, and then we open up to another cathedral in the living room area. So we took this roof slope and we continued it in with a faux rafter on the inside. We also did a faux rafter on the inside here. And now when we go to the exterior, oh, I can delete my faux wall. Now when we go to the exterior, these windows actually work. So before, the floor was right where the top of the window was, but now that this is a cathedral ceiling, that's funny, I'm cutting through the wall, it actually works, which is what I really wanted for this space, because I think that larger windows in the living room just make a better living room. So now the stock plan's basically done. This is going to be the first stock plan that gets added to Emily and I's website, which is kind of crazy to think about, because we've been talking about doing this forever, and now we actually have a finished product. So she designed the floor plan, and then she gives it to me, and then I bring it to life in Revit and do what we just did. Make it work, make it come to life, make it buildable. We think about the exterior, we think about the interior. I'm just going to make sure all these are aligned. Yeah, they are. So I'm just going to delete that, delete this. Now they're all good. And we have our perfect little house. And it's done. I think I'm just going to put an attic access hatch. Probably here. I mean, I don't really know. Let me see where that is on the second floor. Yeah, I think that works. (2'6" by, let's just do 4 feet. And that's the attic access. I'm also just going to copy and paste this to the second floor so I know where that is going to be located on the second floor. So here, there's a wall there. So I'm just going to move that up so that it's past the wall by 6 inches. And I'm going to copy it back down now. I'm going to work it a little bit in reverse here and paste it to this view. Now we have our attic access hatch that the ladder pull down will come down, and it'll get us up to this little area. And there's this weird wall here, so we need to think about that as well. I think putting it, let's rotate it and put it in this hallway just because that will work better. So I'm gonna again copy the attic access and put it here. Yeah, that works better. So you'll come up the ladder that pulls down, and then you'll enter in the space up here, so that works. And really, I just have to add in like the bathroom sinks and stuff like that, but I'm pretty sure this is done. Done. Trying to see if there's any other details I'd want to add. I did say we were going to do some base sweeping and try some crown molding. So let me just see. We have been going live for an hour. So that might be something I try and do next week. I feel like I'm not really sure what else we could add to this house. I think next week will be the last episode of season 1, which is stock plan 1. And what we'll do is we'll just finalize some of the missing elements. So we'll go through, we'll add the bathroom stuff that's missing. We'll add some washer dryer blocks in here. And I'll just go through and add some more detailing. So we'll see if we can do some wall sweeping. We should be able to. So there's wall, there's a sweep, and then there's a reveal. So you can do a cutout in the wall. There you go. And you can do a sweep profile along the wall, so like right away you can do vertical, like you can just click and it forms something. This is a preloaded profile, so I could come down here and look at different profiles. So it's set to default. Then there's a bunch of these ones: parapet cap, precast, sill precast, wall sweep, brick, soldier course. So I've never even seen used or set up some of these. So it's interesting to see that they just exist within Revit. Again, just changing the profile, sill precast. The sill of a precast has this very specific shape, but again, this is vertical, so that's not really what a sill would be. Horizontal. So I'm gonna go back to the default wall sweep cornice, which is just a square right now. And what we'll get into the next time is, well, you can modify the return, so that's interesting. I was able to modify that so it went into the ceiling. So there's just different ways to do things, and we'll be getting into that a little bit on next week. So again, sweep, I could do horizontal. We'll get into how to change the profiling, because right now, again, we just have these profiles loaded in, precast, brick, but we'll go over how to generate your own profile, and like actually make something look cool on the bottom. So we'll have like a really nice base at the bottom. Or maybe we'll do like a wainscoting sill. So this is a really thick object, obviously, but we do like a small thin piece that runs along. I don't know. We'll do something. We'll add some interior details, but for now, it's pretty much done. Like I said, I didn't know if we were going to take it to episode 8. I thought maybe it would be 8 episodes, but it looks like we're going to wrap up next week on episode 7, which is exciting. And I want to go into a little bit of detail with the wall sweeps. The wall reveals are cool, but like I don't really know what that would be. You know, like what would I need that for? Reveal brick coursing, yeah. So I guess that makes sense. You can do a brick band course basically and have the bricks like step in, but that'd be something you do more on the exterior. You'd have your brick face do a little step in. So maybe, let's see, we have a front, but we don't have enough brick to really do a brick reveal. That's just what I would use it for if we were doing something like that, is the soldier course steps in a little bit. There's like a 1/2 inch reveal. You can see that happening here. And the soldier course steps out and steps in, and gives you that like reveal area. So we're gonna create our own wall sweep next week, and we're gonna put a base around the bottom of our entire kitchen living room area. We're not gonna worry about the bedrooms because our money shot's gonna be this right here, in here. It's gonna be our money shot. So I'm just gonna be running base here, and we don't need any like top wall cornices. So a cornice is like in at the top of something of outside, or in crown molding is at the top on the inside, and base molding at the bottom. So crown molding you wouldn't really do in a cathedral ceiling, but we're going to do the base molding, and then the cornice, again, is something that you would do outside. A cornice, a lot of times you see that on, like, market buildings. I don't even know. Like, at the supermarket, and they have, like, a big storefront, and it has, like, this big, like, cornice molding on the top, and it's built out like crazy. That's what a cornice is, and like I said, the crown molding is the top inside the house. So now I just have to figure out how I'm going to take a shot. I'm going to go into the first floor plan, and I'm going to use the camera tool, and I'm just going to take a view from way back here and extend it all the way out and see what that looks like. So right away I just want to pull it out a little bit, but if I pull it out too much, I risk distorting the image. So I got to be really careful with how much I pull that in and out. And then what I can do is I can change this to consistent colors, shaded. We haven't really worked with applying any interior coloring right now, but that is something that we can get into as well, because I do want to have some 3D views to put on the stock portfolio website. So I just switched to realistic. Again, there's really not any realistic materials set up here. It's interesting to me that there's actually a reflection happening on the floor. This must be a good built material that I have loaded in here for it to be doing that. But again, now this is just textures, and then going back to consistent colors, and then the shaded one. So I either like to do shaded or consistent colors. We can try to do some realistic stuff in Revit together as well with this model next week. I'm just thinking of ways that we could really bring the inside to life and get some good pictures of the inside as well as the outside, which we're already having a lot of these details. Like we painted the color of these walls, so we've already worked on the materials on the outside, but now I think to take it to the next level, we could do materials on the inside. Whether that just ends up being like a more realistic flooring, a more realistic base cabinet and countertops, and even adding in some wall paint here that's not just white. I do, like, this is what I'm struggling with. Like, do I want to use this as my cover image for the week? I don't know. I think what I'm going to do is take a 3D view from here, just because I want to see the cathedral. Like, let me detach this. Oh, why isn't this joined? Join, you're going to ruin my shot. Alright, well. I think that looks good, right? Because now you can see the cathedral. You can see that there's like a drop in there. There's the pendants, the chairs, and I'm going to do that. So, all right. This was a great final major session. Again, we're going to just clean things up next week, work on some interior material finishes, and create the main living room kitchen space with the materials. I'm not going to worry about the bedroom. I'm not going to worry about the bathroom. I am going to put in the casework and the showers in the floor plan, but we're not going to go through and detail anything in those rooms or add light fixtures to those rooms or paint the walls in those rooms. We're really just going to focus on this core kitchen, living room, dining space, because that's where like the highlight of the house is, this space. And that's, again, what I keep calling like the money shot of the project. So again, we're just going to develop this one singular open floor space. We're going to finish adding some of the floor plan details just to fill out the floor plan in the bathroom, but we're not going to do anything crazy in the interior in there. Wall sweeps, painting the interior materials, setting up some different of these like views, whether we're going to try some realistic, we're going to try some shaded, see what we like better, and just really wrap up the project with next week's last episode. So we'll be doing that, and then it'll be fun. We'll get to pick another floor plan because Emily has so many that she sent me, and she's just doing like floor plans in 2D, and she'll work on them and then she sends them to me. It takes me some time obviously to model them because I'm going through and modeling them accurately. I'm picking out materials, and she doesn't like to think about those things, and that's the stuff that I love to think about. So it just works really good. And like I said, these are going to be our stock plans for our website. So this is the first finished stock plan we'll have completed together, and it's going to go on our website, which is super exciting. So I'll talk to you guys on next week's stream. I hope you guys have a good rest of your week, and let me know if you've been following along this series. Have you been following along modeling this project with me as well as a practice? I'd love to know. Last week someone commented and said that they were so excited that they learned about the cut profile tool. It's a hidden gem. It really is. It totally is. It's hidden in the view tab. Just kidding. Where is it hidden? Yeah, it's hidden in the view tab. I'm just in the 3D view, so it's grayed out. But this is the cut profile tool. It's located here. Again, go to last week's video, episode 5, and you'll see me talk about it and use it in more in depth. But that is like a super valuable tool to get your sections to look like actually how it's going to be built, as opposed to just square edges and shapes, and that's not realistic in a lot of cases. So again, have a good rest of your week. I'll talk to you guys next week on the live.